What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know so, and today we're doing a 2021 NFL mock draft. This is exclusively the first round because I want to kind of go into and talk about these first round picks. But I have a 7-round mock draft, should be on the channel right now as we speak, and I go into each of the draft classes I did for those teams. So if you want to check that out, go check out, see how I did for your team, and just hate on it, because I know you will. But go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. It's all supports much appreciated, much obliged. If you really want to support the channel, go ahead, become a member. That's the best way to support the channel. But really, just quick pretense going into this. This is me drafting as if I'm the GM. I'm making the decisions for the squad. So this is me drafting, not a prediction on who I think your team's gonna draft. It's kind of tough to do that without free agency happening yet. You know, it's pretty hard to do those predictive ones. But let's go ahead and let's dive into the nitty gritty. Remember, I'm doing just the first round. If you want to check out the 7-round one, it's on the channel. So go ahead and indulge. But Trevor Lawrence going number 1, that doesn't change. That's pretty simple. The Jets, I'm not a big Sam Darnold. It's not that I'm not a big Sam Darnold believer. I just believe it's just better to move on, get a young guy with a rookie contract. A lot of people are singing the praises of Zach Wilson right now, and I think Zach Wilson in a Matt LaFleur's, it matters in Mike that's there, in a LaFleur system, in a Kyle Shanahan system, would be bonkers, would be nice. This also allows them to have enough cap to bring in talent rather than maybe even if Sam Darnold's good this year that you'd have to bring him back on a 5th year, or if they extend him even longer, it would just really eat into the cap. His Wilson's rookie contract won't do that. You won't have to worry about it for another 4 years. So we're going Zach Wilson. The Miami Dolphins, I'm kind of up and down when it comes to what I think they should do here. I would love to trade down, but this one, we're not featuring trades in this draft. So I'm either between Chase or Sewell. It's a very good wide receiver class, and you could say the same about the offensive tackle class, but I think just I'm starting to lean more Sewell with this pick. I do agree, hey, you need to surround our boy Tua with more playmakers, but this is a very good wide receiver free agency on top of it being a very deep wide receiver class. You can't really say that so much for the offensive tackles available in free agency, because I'm pretty sure Trent Williams will probably end up getting franchise tagged. So, I mean, we could go after guys like Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay, Chris Godwin. I can't imagine all those guys getting franchise tagged, especially Allen Robinson, who doesn't want to be in Chicago. It sounds like they have cut off negotiations, that they're no longer negotiated. There we go. So I'm kind of looking at free agency and maybe later on the draft for a wide receiver. So I think we're going to go with Sewell here. This just really improves the line, moves Robert Hunt to guard where I think he is better. I know he was starting to look more comfortable there at tackle, but I projected him as a guard last season, and I think guard's the better position. You could kick Solomon Kinley out. And yeah, man, it's important to have very 5 at least average to above average starters there on the offensive line. So we're going Sewell. And the Atlanta Falcons, I still believe quarterback's the best pick. How often do you think the Falcons will be picking in the top 5? I don't think very often. So while we're here, let's take a quarterback. Let's go with Matt Ryan for the next year or two. And then let's move on. Maybe get some sick trade capital from that. And let's grab our quarterback for the next decade. I know that Trey Lance, his tools, at least his upside is much higher than Justin Fields. But Fields, for me, is the better prospect as far as what he offers right now. Potentially, he's way, way, way more accurate than Lance. The dude's got good arm talent, good arm strength. It just, you kind of wonder with him in the pocket. The big knock on him is he's a bit conservative in the pocket. He locks onto his first read for a bit too long. He holds onto the ball for too long. I think those are things you can fix. by being on the bench, being mentored by one of the best in the game. We're going to go with Fields. It's just, I feel safer about that than Lance. And then Cincinnati Bengals, I'm not too sad that Sewell's not here. I'm totally cool with grabbing Chase, reuniting him with Burrow. AJ Green, the future on him is kind of murky. So I'm totally A-okay if Sewell's not here. I don't think the Bengals need to trade out of this pick. I think they're going to get either Sewell or Chase by staying put here, and I'm totally okay if I'm the Bengals by staying put at 5. So we're going to grab Jamar Chase. Eagles, they just traded Carson Wentz today. It really screwed up my my 7th-round mock draft. Like, I was starting to do all the overlays the night before, and then that comes in, and I was like, oh my gosh, Wentz is traded. This literally alters my whole draft. So I had to go back and redo that. Really set me back. But we're up here. We're probably in the midst of a rebuild, because unless you think Jalen Hurts is the future, I don't believe he is, then you're probably in the midst of a rebuild. Let's go ahead. Let's grab the quarterback, Trey Lance, man. Like I said, we talked about, he's got the big cannon for an arm. He's got the huge athletic upside. He's got all these tools that it kind of makes you feel Josh Allen-esque, and he just had his breakout year. So we're going to go with Lance. Quarterback is the most valuable position on the field. We're going to take a shot at that. In worst case scenario, even for you Jalen Hurts truthers out there, it's not bad having 2 good potential starting quarterbacks. We're just trying to give ourselves the most opportunity access, a greater possibility at hitting on getting a franchise quarterback. Whether it's Hurts, whether it's Lance. Detroit Lions, no quarterback here. I'm not fretting. They got enough draft capital next season to, enough draft capital to be, to go up to the number 1 pick and take Spencer Rattler or whoever may be the top quarterback in that class. So we're just going to take the best player on board, and that's Devontae Smith right now. So they need receiver. I imagine that Kenny Golladay will be franchise tagged, even if he isn't. Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, they're all free agents, so it just makes sense to go receiver here if none of the quarterbacks are available. And then on to the Carolina Panthers. Man, you gotta think they're trying to make, it sounds like they're trying to make moves for Deshaun Watson. That doesn't surprise me, but no quarterback available here unless they're really high on Mac Jones. And I'm not gonna mock that here. I got too much hate like a couple of months ago when I was like, hey, this could be a possibility. People, man, crap hit the fan. I'm just saying. So instead, we're going to go with Kyle Pitts is higher on my board right now. And so is Micah Parsons. But I think the cornerback position's a more valuable position, especially when your top 2 corners are both free agents. Troy Pry Jr. didn't exactly look great in his rookie season. I expect him to be better, though. But cornerback, to me, it's the most valuable spot on defense. And Caleb Farley has these top 10 elite shutdown cornerback traits, so we're going to go with him here. And then the Denver Broncos. Von Miller, man, it sounds like they're not going to bring him back. I'm pretty sure they're actually not going to bring him back. So I know Malik Reed, I believe, he looked good in limited snaps, but I think he's going to be a rotation player. So let's get a guy who has that pass rush and upside, but that can play the linebacker position. And Micah Parsons, we could do a few interesting things in the front 7 with him, kind of like Von Miller. So let's go ahead with Parsons. We could go corner here, but Patrick Surtain, I don't know if he's exactly top 10. I loved his production, but you do wonder about the speed, and I think he'd be a good fit for Vic Fangio. But Micah Parsons is, I have him rated much higher. And then the Dallas Cowboys, they go ahead. We're going to grab Patrick Surtain. They have a huge quarterback void there. Kyle Pitts is a huge consideration for me. You could even make a case for Waddle or really any of the guys in front of him. But again, cornerback, it's such a valuable position, and that was such a weak spot last year. I think they will address it with a guy who's a much better prospect than Trevon Diggs was. Not saying that they're giving up on Diggs, but I'm saying you can get a legit starter across from Diggs, I think, almost immediately. The New York Giants, they need to get Danny Dimes some weapons. I'm just going to say that. If they're going to give Danny Dimes a legit chance to be like, hey, are you our franchise quarterback? Go prove it to us. Surround him with weapons. We're going to do that. Kyle Pitts, man. Evan Ingram, you could still work Ingram into the offense. You could run 2 tight ends. I mean, it's not like Joe Judge came from New England or anything where kind of did that. But at the same time, Pitts is much more than just a tight end. He could play outside. He could play in the slot. You could do a lot of cool things with him. So we're going to go with Kyle Pitts. San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones? Nah. We ain't doing Mac Jones. I mean, I would love to move on from Jimmy G, but it just doesn't look like that might be the case unless they maybe make a move for Derek Carr. I don't think they can make a move for Deshaun Watson, or unless they trade up, but we're not doing trades in this mock. So let's just go with the best player available at a position of need right now. And that would be, well, the offensive line in general. And we're going to go with Slater because Slater, he can play he can play guard, and most people think he can play guard at a high level, but I would seriously start him at tackle, especially if they can't bring Trent Williams back. That's kind of a big indicator of what they do here. Will they be able to bring Trent Williams back? And I mean, if they do consider or project Slater to be a guard, they still might even go with him here. But for me, this is too early for drafting a guard. Some of y'all might be like, Elijah Vera Tucker, on my board, he's not here until 24. So unless we're trading down and acquiring more picks, we're just going to go with Slater. Because I like Slater at tackle. That's why I have him rated so high. And then the Los Angeles Chargers. Oh boy. You got to get... I mean, Jalen Waddle, he's tempting here, but they need to protect the investment. That is Herbert. They still have Keenan Allen. They still have Mike Williams. I almost said Mike Wallace, man. I mix that up a lot. But they still have Mike Williams. So they have weapons. Austin Eckler's a weapon in the passing game as well. It's a deep class for receivers. And I mean, free agency is pretty nice at the receiver position as well. But they need help on the offensive line, whether it's the interior or whether it's the left tackle. Really, Brian Bulaga is the only guy that I think's job is safe there at right tackle. So we're going to go with Christian Darrisaw. I'm really high on Darrisaw. He's got the ideal physical profile, and he's very, very athletic. So we're going to go with that, man. We're going to go with that. We're going to protect our investment. And then the Minnesota Vikings, Jalen Waddle, again, it's tempting, but they don't run a lot of more than three. They don't run 3 wide receiver sets a lot. And I mean, what are you really if you're not really going to utilize Waddle a lot? Maybe they do that a bit more, but I mean, they kind of do that with Irv Smith, man. They'll kick him into the slot occasionally. So I don't know. I feel content with what's there right now to really make the move on Jalen Waddle, while it's very tempting. But I think defensive line's a big concern. I know that they were missing Daniel Hunter and Michael Pierce, but still, I think it needs to be addressed. They're still weak, especially on the interior. I think they could use someone studded, because Christian Barmore, only guy of this defensive interior class that I got a first round grade on. And I got him pretty high because he was very impressive this season. And this was off the back of a season where he was extremely impressive in a limited sample size. So we're going to go with Barmore to start next to Pierce, because I think the rest of the guys on that line are just really good rotation pieces. And I'm a big Watt guy, Armand Watt guy. So yeah, we're going to go with Christian Barmore. I think this is good. This is good value for him here. You can make a case for Kwity Paye, but again, I got Barmore above Paye. And then the New England Patriots, we're going Mac Jones. No, we're not. I think ultimately they're going to bring in a veteran signal caller, and they're probably going to trade down from this pick. Let's be honest. They'll probably trade down. So I think they're going to bring in a Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andy Dalton to be the quarterback here. So if they're going to do that, they need to get weapons, because their weapons suck. There's no separation. There's no after the catch ability with what they have right now there. So we're going to go Jalen Waddle. Dude gets great separation in the slot. Like, this dude just creates separation. He's great after the catch. He had the most yards after the catch. Well, second most yards after the catch through the last 3 seasons. Through 2018 to 2019. The only guy ahead of him was CeeDee Lamb. So we're going to go with that there. Arizona Cardinals, this is such a tough pick. Like, I was thinking maybe Kwity Paye. Rashad Bateman, he could separate, like, he is kind of a downfield target, but I think where he attacks well is the intermediate, and I think what the Cardinals really need is like a downfield like separator. And Bateman, he's just not that. He's very good at the contested catch, and he's a very good route runner, but I don't think he is like the ideal separator that the Cardinals would probably want. So we're gonna, what do you pay, man? If Chandler Jones ends up being a casualty potentially, maybe they go there. But I think J.C. Horn just makes the most sense. He fits the system. He fits the scheme. Patrick Peterson, he's probably not long for the roster, at least in the next year or two. So they need to get a guy. I mean, they've been playing Byron Murphy in the slot, so we're gonna go with J.C. Horn here. I feel like, I mean, it's not like it's a reach either. I have him 21 on my board, so. The Las Vegas Raiders, Gus Bradley. He doesn't blitz a lot. He really relies pressure on coming from the front four. And the front four of the Raiders last year, they didn't like to get pressure. They didn't get a lot of pressure. So I think they need to bring in, whether it's interior pressure or pressure off the edge, they need to do that, whether it's through free agency, which there's not a lot of options out there, or through the draft. I think they do it through the draft. Kwity Paye, phenomenal prospect. He gets a lot of from a physical upside. You saw a bit of the development through 4 to 5 games this year, and he's just got a very big ceiling. So we're gonna go with Kwity Paye. Miami Dolphins, this is their second pick. We snagged who did we snag? Oh, yeah. Any soul. I know a lot of people are going to be like, hey, Najee Harris. I'm not big on drafting running backs in the first round, let alone Najee Harris. He's the 3rd running back on my board. You could go check out my running back rankings if you want to see that. That is available, and I'll give a good explanation why he's 3rd on my board. So I think there's just more valuable positions you could address. So looking at like guys who are top on my board, Rashad Bateman was a consideration. Aziz too, but ultimately I think I'm going with JOK. I think he might do a little bit of what Brandon Jones did this year, just better. So like Brandon Jones, he was like a 3rd round like pick. Not saying you're giving up on the guy, but I think you got to take value when value's there. He's the second highest guy currently on my board, so we're going to go with him here. The Washington football team. Again, man, I've been mocking this a lot recently, and it's hard to go away from it. I think Kadarius Toney, and while he's 28th on my board right now, you might say it's a bit of a reach, but I think he does a lot of the things that the Washington football team quarterbacks, he does a lot of things well that the quarterbacks are going to need. Like, I think these guys, they're going to be looking for guys underneath. And I mean, there's no one really better in this class outside of Waddle than Toney. The dude, he creates separation underneath. He is phenomenal at creating after the catch. And he showed a lot, like at the Senior Bowl, very good route running ability. He ain't polished in that area yet, but you saw the upside. You saw the high-endness. I don't know if that's really a word, but you saw that at the Senior Bowl. See, my dog loves it. Akila's loving it, man. See, he wants Kadarius Toney. Nah, she's probably sitting there like Rashad Bateman, which I don't blame her. Rashad Bateman's great too. And I mean, he kind of serves a bit in the intermediate. I think he's a bit similar to what they have in Scary Terry there. So Kadarius Toney, I just really love the fit since they can't really upgrade a quarterback as of right now. So, and I mean, if they bring in Cam Newton too, but I mean, they extended Tyler Heineke. I don't know. It's kind of weird right now. Chicago Bears, you missed out on Carson Wentz. Kind of. I mean, for what Carson Wentz was going for, you think the Bears would have done that. Like a third round this year and then a second round, which will probably be a first round in 2022. I don't know. I feel like they can't go into the season with Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles as starters. So I say, why not? Let's take a shot. Let's take a chance. We're going to go with Mac Jones. Like I said, we're taking a shot here. I think Mac Jones could be much better than what they already have there at quarterback. There's a lot of upside to Mac Jones in terms of what he brings to the table. I mean, the dude's pinpoint accurate underneath and through the intermediate. He throws with great anticipation. The biggest knock on him is not very athletic, kind of struggled outside of structure, and he's kind of got middling arm strength. But the dude, I think, can efficiently operate an offense. I mean, again, arm strength, that's not the nail in the coffin. You think, like, it's not. So we're going to go with Jones. I think here at 20, it's good value, and you're addressing a very valuable position, probably the most valuable position. Indianapolis Colts, man, managed to keep their first rounder this year and get Carson Wentz. So I think you got to do one or two things, man. Well, yeah, one of three things with this pick. You go offensive line because Anthony Costanzo, he retired, but I think you're not going to get an immediate impact from picking offensive tackle with this pick. You're better yet at grabbing somebody in free agency. Okay, well, they could go defense. They could address the defense. I really probably need to bring in some juice at edge rusher. They need to get some pass rush. Because, I mean, they could bring back Justin Houston, but he's fine in a very limited role. So we could do that. I mean, but this class, it's kind of like filled with guys that have those tools, you know? So we don't really, you don't really know what you're expecting to get out of that. It's not for sure. And plus, again, you could go maybe that in the second round, potentially. Instead, I wanted to go with receiver because if we're going to bring in Carson Wentz, at least give Carson Wentz a chance. Michael Pittman can't be your only legit receiver. Don't you dare say Zach Pascal. T.Y. Hilton is a free agent. And Paris Campbell, we've seen bits and pieces of. He's got injury issues. So we're going to go Rashad Bateman. I think it's a very good value here. Him and Michael Pittman would be a very dangerous duo. You get the Kenny. I've been saying this all year. Bringing in the Keenan Allen to the Michael Williams. I almost said Wallace again. Michael Williams to who is Michael Pittman. So, yeah, I like that pick a lot. The Tennessee Titans pass rush. Straight up. Pass rush is a need here. I'm in love with Azeez Ojulari. I think he has that it factor. He can be special. Report is that Clowney actually might be back. So we're going to go with Azeez, man. Big fan. Very high on him. New York Jets. Okay, we grabbed Zach Wilson. You're the Jets here. I think you kind of got to swing. I feel like you can swing for the fences here with this second first round pick. And grab a guy that has big upside. Just needs to develop. And I know some of y'all are like, no. Listen, man, I think Gregory Rousseau would be at 23 is a value. And I think he really would fit the defense there that they'll now have in place. I assume they're going to the 4-3. I think he really fits that. A guy that can kind of kick inside and was very disruptive from the interior. Just needs to learn to be a better actual edge rusher. I think he kind of brings that Eric Armstead type of upside to the squad that you could say they kind of lack. So we're going to go with him here. Again, we're swinging for the fences on this pick. They just got plenty of other picks to kind of go and add talent elsewhere. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they said they're not committed to Ben, but then who are they committed to? They're not, like, who else are you, like, unless you're making trades for, like, Sam Darnold, or you're bringing in someone that, like, I don't know what the Steelers are doing. So I assume Big Ben has to come back. I mean, he's going to come back. So, I mean, you got to help the offense. Like, if that's going to be your starting quarterback, you got to address the offensive line. There's some significant free agents there, especially at tackle. I think we address it here. We're going to go with Tevin Jenkins. I have Radins higher, but I think Jenkins is a very good scheme fit for the Steelers, and he brings that Steeler mentality. And then the Cleveland Browns. Is it the Cleveland Browns? No, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. What am I doing? That's the next pick. Jacksonville Jaguars. I've been mocking Trevon Moehrig here for a hot minute. They need help in the secondary. He's the top safety on my board. Moehrig. Sorry, I'm going to get used to saying his name correctly. So we're just going with that there. I'm a big fan. So I think you get two banger picks there with Moehrig and Lawrence. Well, obviously Lawrence. So now the Cleveland Browns. I think they bring in edge rusher, man. I really do. I think they're going to try to find a nice athletic edge rusher across from their power rusher in Myles Garrett. I've mocked Jalen Phillips here a ton. I'm going to go with, excuse me. Whew. I'm going to go with Jason Oweh. I got him a bit higher. I don't have the concussions concerns, so the medical concerns you have with Phillips. So we're going to go with Oweh. I really do, though, like Phillips. Phillips might be a better scheme fit. He's got that power, but he is ridiculously fast. But in his own right, so is Oweh. He's I think, a better straight line speed athlete compared to Phillips, who's got a little finesse to his game. Baltimore Ravens, I think Ed here you're going with maybe like best player available. I don't think we're going wide receiver. I don't think there's a problem with the receivers in place there. I think they just need to open up the passing game, get a little more they just can't be running like these college simplistic route concepts, you know? All right. Screen slant go. All right, there we go. That's it. I think they're going to open it up a bit. So I don't think you got to go receiver here. Xavier Collins, he's very tempting. Instead, I'm going to go, though, with, because let's be frank. This is a run-heavy team. That will not change. Elijah Vera Tucker will come in, and he could be an immediate upgrade or improvement, especially with Orlando Brown potentially not like being traded. I think you could kick Vera Tucker out to right tackle immediately. I think he translates better to guard, but if you need him to play tackle, I think he can do that. So I like the versatility there. He's 24th on my board, good value. And then the New Orleans Saints. Oh, gosh, man. I think I'm going to just go with Xavier Collins here, man. Zach Bond, I know they got him last year. Collins, better prospect, brings I think a better skill set. He's a bit more tested in the passing game, so we're going to go with him that there. Just better upside overall, especially and better size, 260. So, yeah, I'm not even thinking twice about this. Green Bay Packers, listen, I know they don't receiver be nice here. It's tempting, but it's a receiver deep draft. We can maybe address it later. Maybe somewhere on the defense. I do want to address the defense. And as I was saying, I know that they primarily run these sub packages, whether it's nickel or dime. The majority of the time, I think it was like 70% of the time last year, they were running sub packages. So linebacker, it's not an important position there. I think it is, though, when you don't have a competent linebacker there. Nick Bolden, I love Nick Bolden at this pick here. If he's available, I would love to go Nick Bolden. The man can stack up against the run. More importantly, he's been proven to make plays in coverage. He's got ridiculous instincts. Probably one of the best coverage linebackers in this class in terms of instincts, in terms of what he brings just as a processor, compared to some of the other guys who their coverage skills are mainly from the athletic upside that they may have. Because Bolton, he's not as athletic as your JOK. But I think he's much more far along in terms of what he brings, just again, from his football IQ in the passing game. All right, Buffalo Bills. Variety of different ways they could go here. Redins is interesting. I don't know if he's exactly a scheme fit, though. Basham, it's not sexy, but they could use help at bringing pressure. If you want to keep up with the Chiefs, then you could bring in more receivers. Phillips, again, intriguing, man. I don't know what team's going to bite on him, though. It'll be interesting to see what team bites on him. Because, again, the medical concerns they're real. They're real. But I think I'm going to go in secondary, man. At least you got Levi Wallace as a free agent. Josh Norman, how many really plus seasons does he have left in him? Sonny Samuel, man, I think he can play on the outside. You could start him immediately in the slot, but I think he can play on the outside. His biggest knock is, of course, the size, but he is an elite athlete. I think he's a fringe first rounder. I like him with this pick. NC Chiefs, you got to protect your quarterback. Mitchell Schwartz might not be coming back. Dylan Redins, he's the top prospect on my board. We're going to go with him here. And then the Tampa Bay Buckaroos, the Tampa Brady Buccaneers. They're, judging from what I'm hearing, it sounds like Sue wants to come back. Sounds like he's likely to come back. So I think Carlos Basham, we could kind of like say, nah, we don't need that then. Because I think that's the role Basham would play, that or an upgrade over William Golston. But he's not on the field a lot as is anyway. It's mainly you're running with Sue and Vita Vea, and then you'll have like JPP and Shaq Barrett on the line there. Elijah Moore, Chris Godwin's a free agent, but I think they're fine at receiver. They're probably going to bring AB back. Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, I think are capable of stepping up and stepping in. So don't necessarily have to go wide receiver, but I brought up a name, Shaq Barrett. He is a free agent. He's going to make a lot of money. I don't think he's going to be, unless they franchise tag him again, I don't think they're going to be able to keep him. Let's go. Let's take a shot, man. Jalen Phillips, he's got top 15 potential. Again, but I bring up the medical concerns, and when you look at his production, it came at the second half of the season. He just got hot and went on a streak. He wasn't really that player at the beginning of the year. He wasn't that player at UCLA, but he does have elite tools. Let's take a shot. Let's hope the concussion things are that of the past. They weren't a concern there in Miami. So I'm going to take a shot here. So this is our draft, man. This is the first round. How long am I going? 33 minutes. Well, I'll probably cut down a little bit. But overall, I think it's a solid draft. Of course, I mean, this is me making the picks. There's no one pick I really dislike. I mean, you can make a case for Mac Jones, but I feel better with Mac Jones as my starter than Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles. Greg Rousseau, I think Jets fans probably won't love, but you're taking a shot on a guy that's that's what the draft is. It's a crapshoot. You're playing craps. And you're hoping to hit on these prospects. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. You know this guy has really, really good physical upside. I mean, dude, just in the ACC, his freshman season, he had 15.5 sacks, winning with just pure athleticism from the interior. Again, didn't win a lot on the outside. So we're betting on that freaky frame and that bit of athleticism, hoping he decided to try to develop. He said, I saw him in an interview, he was talking about developing a variety of different pass rusher moves. Keep in mind, this guy's new to the position. He didn't come to Miami as an edge rusher. They decided to make him one the minute he got there. In high school, safety, wide receiver. So you're dealing with a very raw prospect here. I mean, Jalen Phillips, I want to go earlier, man. It's just, I feel much safer with guys like Owe. And I mentioned that I'm a big Aziz fan. But again, I like the draft. I think I did well. You'll let me know how I did in the comment section below. So that's it for the video. Go ahead, leave a comment in the comment section below and partake in that good football discourse. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.